Hey, how are you doing? Hey. So essentially, that is, the current job employment of America right now. That big old boom. So, hi, how are you doing? How is it going? I want to talk about something very important. Ranging from me as an arts and physics major, I wasn't going to computer science, but then I saw what was going on, to essentially people with PhDs. It's getting hard for everyone to get a job. Albeit I am working in healthcare and art, so things won't be that hard. It's just a bit more stagnant and nuanced for me, so it's just gonna take more time for me to find something that it's best suited for my lifestyle. However, that isn't the thing for everyone. And even for them, it's taken some time too. Like, I am not surprised. Me and you and everyone else as well has been fighting for their lives for like a cashier job at the very least. When we may have more than qualifications for beyond that. And for any entry level jobs, even that, even if you've been past an entry level standpoint, it's becoming hard. And basically, we've been seeing like mid level to senior level jobs getting cut off, entry level jobs being like, limited and pulled in. It's getting hard for everyone to get a job. And so, people who has over 3 years of experience going to entry level jobs, and people who are going to entry level jobs are trying to be cashiers and baristas, and now essentially someone who's a licensed social worker might be a barista or bartender on the side. So yeah, I just want to show this personal experience of many people, of people having even worse prestigious degrees not being able to attain a job, and how essentially that this entire situation isn't at fault to you but to the federal system itself. And I just want to give out some tips and tricks maybe a little bit afterwards to see like how can I make this easier for all of us, because I applied to some more jobs ranging from, regular retail to white collar, graphic design, copywriting, technology based jobs, the same things I'm in right now for healthcare, for anything like, CNA related, caregiver related, anything for like maternity help for children. It's not really that right now. I like to work with kids and stuff like that. So they like take care of people, not just like inject people. So let's see. But let's see what these people say, and maybe we might have an opinion about it.
This post, this post that I made so many men really, really mad. I was not expecting that. And I think it's just like shocking to me because nowhere did I say that I graduated from Harvard. I think that like my comments maybe were misinterpreted. I like my other content is literally about how I went to a non-target school. I don't know in what universe that would be Harvard University. I went to Harvard SVMP, HBS, and which is like that is impressive on its own. It's like I don't know, 4% acceptance rate. I did it because I wanted to see if I would like an MBA in the future. I graduated back in May with my computer science degree from Quinnipiac University. I graduated a year early, no debt, great. I'm now in San Francisco working my full-time tech job, and I was thinking like, well, what can I post that is super impressive? And like somebody commented like, oh, future grocery store worker. And I'm like, okay, like I don't understand why you would comment that on somebody's post. Like, I don't know. And then it's like the whole comments are just about trade school and this guy who was like talking about how he's a cabinet maker. I don't care. I don't care what you do. And I also don't care that like you went to trade school and you think that you are superior to people who went to like a 4-year institution. I don't have like any qualms against people who went to trade school. I think that trade school is great. I think that trade school is great if you are really passionate about making something or like repairing something, like electricians, for example. And you can't afford like a degree to a 4-year college, or like maybe community college is not a thing where you are, or maybe like you just really like trade, your trade school, or like whatever you do at trade school. I don't like, I don't condone people talking bad about people who decide to go to trade school based on like one comment that some random misogynistic dude made under the post. I do like find issue with people making random assumptions about me, like people saying that I'm not going to have a job. I do have a job. I'm working right now. I literally have videos about the jobs that I've worked previously. My content is just about being a software engineer, basically. And yeah, people said that like I have no experience, I'm not going to get hired, the job market's so bad, why did she go to Harvard for engineering? I didn't. I went to a much worse school for engineering, in case anybody wanted to further comment on that. Yeah, I don't know. The whole post comments are like icky because I don't like looking at them. I don't like acknowledging that people like that actually exist in real life. I think like the comments about how I'm making no money or that I'm in debt are really weird. Why are you assuming my financial situation? My like I graduated debt free. The program that I was in was like an accelerated 3-year, 1-year master's, 3-year bachelor's degree program, and the promise for that was like they locked my tuition, so I knew exactly what I was going to be paying for all 3 years, and I was able to manage my finances a lot better than somebody who is going to college for 4 years and is at risk of like your tuition going up by 10% or something like that. I had a lot of scholarships, so I was able to pay for it all, but yeah, I don't know. I think that like all of those comments are kind of weird. And I think that it kind of stems from sexism. A majority of them are made by men who are just like very self-conscious about themselves. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I just have this post because I want people who are looking at my profile now, because the post has gotten a lot more likes than I posted about it like a couple of weeks ago actually, and it like just started blowing up again. People who are looking at my profile, if you see this video, this is like a TLD, too long post about it, but yeah.
So college grads are doing everything right. They're getting degrees, they're applying like crazy, but they are not getting jobs. Why is this happening? The unemployment rate for recent grads is 5.8%. That is higher than it's been in decades, and it's much higher than the general population. There are some different theories. One, college degrees may be becoming less valuable. A lot of the entry-level jobs are no longer requiring a degree in order to consider candidates. And of course, AI. So as you've probably seen, AI agents, AI technologies, they're able to do the easier tasks. So things like customer service, help centers, data processing, even some coding is AI is making the individuals that already have jobs so much more efficient that less of the entry-level people are needed. And we will probably continue to see this trend. But listening to this and you're news like I am, we're ahead of the curve. Awareness is the key. We need to know what's happening so we can understand how to pivot and how to advise our children to. Ava, your friend who's trying to figure out AI, follow more news on.
I've officially been unemployed for a year and 4 months now, and I did not think it was going to be this difficult to get a job post-grad. And I feel like every single day my chances of getting a job seem to get lower and lower. because I feel like I graduated so long ago, and even internships where I'm supposed to be gaining my experience require you to either still be in school or recently graduated, but over a year ago is definitely not recently. And even entry-level positions require you to have like 3+ years of experience, so I don't really know what to do.
Your major doesn't matter. Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna have people flanking me in the comments. Oh my gosh, that's so stupid. Of course your major matters. Look, if you're not gonna be an engineer, a doctor, nurse, or like a lawyer, it doesn't matter. Okay, let me tell you why. I graduated college early. I graduated in 3.5 years at like a really well-known school, very competitive school, very proud of myself, with a political science major. You wanna know what I wanted to do with that? Nothing. Do you want to know what I regret? My major. Not because it's not useful, because I think I actually have a lot of skills from it that are very useful in everyday life, but because it wasn't enjoyable for me. Also, I'm walking on my treadmill very slowly. It wasn't enjoyable for me, okay? Okay? But let me tell you, I am an exceptional writer. For my entire college degree, have been writing research papers, synopses, capstones, everything. I'm an incredible writer. I know how to analyze data. Do you want to know what I do for a living? I work in social media. Do you want to know what you do in social media? You have to be creative. You have to analyze data, and you have to be able to write well. You have to be able to research things. So whenever I've applied to jobs and they're like, ooh, actually, you don't have a marketing degree. You want to know what? I have 4 years of experience under my belt in social media marketing with incredibly good results in social media. Your degree doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. Do you want to also know what I'm doing with my time, with my degree and my incredible writing skills? I'm writing a fantasy series, a romantasy series, actually. And that's what I'm doing with my time, social media and writing novels. But I have a political science degree, okay? This is what I'm saying, y'all. Like, unless you want to be a doctor and want to cut people open, I recommend using some YouTube videos to learn skills that you want to learn, okay?
A bachelor's degree in 2023 is what a high school diploma was in the 80s.
You're not crazy, and you are completely correct, and it's a multitude of different reasons, primarily being something called academic inflation. What is academic inflation? Essentially, it's the increased need from employers to have higher education for positions that don't really require them. A good example of this was my mother was director of human resources and personnel for over 30 years, with Marriott Hotels. And eventually in the early 2000s, she was forced out of her position. This is a woman who'd been general manager, a senior HR executives for years until they finally decided that they needed people with degrees. And the other thing too is if you can push people into getting degrees but pay them less, which is another aspect, you're helping to fuel an entire industry that is catering around charging as much money for college supplies and the education as well. That's one reason why college is so expensive. And that's why so many people are saddling themselves with debt, is because they're being told, you just need to get a little bit more education, and then you can finally break free into something, that's somewhat quasi middle class, which is kind of where I am. I spent 4 years getting a bachelor's degree, graduated magna cum laude with HR and management, and I was lucky if I saw job offers for more than $15 an hour to start. And I was making more money, just basically with the career that I had literally built for myself in production and manufacturing. Even now, I'm not really using my degree. Yeah, my education came into consideration for my hiring, but I'm not actually using my degree. I am working in an offshoot of the career that I had already built for myself. And now I'm being told that if I really want to grow my career, if I really want to make more money, I need to get a master's degree. And here I am making the most money I've ever have in my life, and I can't even survive on my own with it. And I'm basically being told flat out by people that my degree is useless because it's not a master's. So no, you're not crazy. This is something that has been decades in the making.
I'm starting to think that my college degrees have been a waste. Hear me out. I have a Bachelor of Arts in English and Journalism with a concentration in creative writing. And then I have a Master of Fine Arts, which is a terminal master's degree in was it what it's writing fiction, right? In fiction writing originally it was nonfiction, and then I switched to fiction, child, whatever, right. I graduated many years ago. I'm a woman of a certain age. I'm an elder millennial, and I have never been able to find like sustainable work for any like length of time. Now, I did have like a somewhat decent salary at my most recent job, which ended in 2022. But even with that job, the benefits were horrible. And so I was going to have to pay like, I think 3 or 4,000 a month for healthcare for my entire family, which at that point, the salary was what? Not only have I never been able to find like sustainable work, I mean, I definitely can't find any work now. I've also have like an insane amount of money, like debt, like it's crazy. We recently, as I've mentioned before, moved back in. Well, we moved into, my parents have a vacant apartment above their garage. And so we moved back in there because we couldn't afford to keep paying where we were paying. And it's sort of like a reset and starting over. But we've been here like 4 months now, and I still can't find a job. And I don't even know what job I want at this point. Like the jobs that I've been applying to have been influencer marketing jobs because I've been in content creation. I've been in this space for 12 years, right? Going on 13 years. And so that's kind of all I know, but none of that has anything to do with my degrees at all. So as much as it's like cool to say you have these degrees, have they added any value to my life? If anything, I've been shackled with an insane amount of debt, and I'm grateful for what I've learned at school for sure. But I would trade all of it to not have the debt that I have and to be able to actually find a sustainable job, which is partially why I've sort of moved away from any sort of traditional education for my kids, because knowing trigonometry really didn't serve me. Like the shit that they make you learn in school, whether it's even like your gen ed classes, your first couple of years of college, like, yeah, it like you have this well-rounded education, but to what end? I've never used trigonometry in my life, period. Sokotowa what?
About it.
Why?
So yeah, that was basically it. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, I just want to give out a couple tips and tricks, maybe to see how it might be easier for us to attain a job, even if it's retail. Alright, so of course we always speak about tailoring your resume to each and every job. I wouldn't say each and every job, but for the broad aspects of jobs you're looking for, retail, or certain types of like businesses as well, or depending on even the keywords. So for example, for me, I have my own like two resumes. Crazy, I know. Two resumes for retail, for one that would like more experience, for one that people don't want much experience. So I have those for that. And for white collar jobs, I have two different ones. One that's a more fuller resume and one that's a more minimal, not like basically kind of compromised like resume, right? Depending on what they're wanting. And one of them is based off me being good at my own resume building, SEO, and knowing how to hit the AI keywords and the recruiters keywords, and then one is AI driven purely. So I do have one version of each and every one of those. So I do recommend using AI to come help you out with that. They do have free websites for that as well. I also do have like my resume template you can use as well, which would be very effective, which did help me get jobs these past 5 years, but they were seasonal jobs because I was like an active college student then, and honestly they didn't really have much openings for anything else but like chill seasonal jobs during the 2020s or the earlier 2020s. And so I do recommend doing that. I also recommend essentially maybe like embellishing your resume a bit more. Try to see, you can go look up on like LinkedIn or on Google to see any types of like words that can really make your resume more extravagant. Saying things like curated, building, team building, development, things like that can really help raise your resume, even if all you were was just like a Kroger supervisor on like a sales floor. Like it's more than okay for that. And then last but not least, I would recommend essentially maybe like go on Coursera and take like a good like $50 course or one for free with financial aid. That can help boost it a little bit more. it really won't hurt anything, and at least it can show them that okay, they have more specific expertise in a certain area. Right now, people are liking anything related to like Figma or UX UI design or Microsoft Outlook or like Adobe Creative Suite, and maybe like some kind of like coding programs that I don't know about right now. Right, so all of it's dependent on your own job, aspect where you're going into. So they have like some online Coursera certificates. I recommend that. The reason why I recommend Coursera because it's just an easier way to showcase that rather than spending like a couple $1,000s on like community college certificate, unless it gives you like a technical license or actual certification that actually gives you a job. Besides that, $50 booster would never hurt. And then I would say, side note, make a mini portfolio website, even if it's on like Canva, and then pay for like, a domain, or even go on Dribble, DRIBBBLE.com, if you don't want to pay for anything. And then you can go make a little side portfolio, or even just make your own cover letter that can go help it out, as well to push it forward. And yeah, that part is for more like blue collar, white collar entry level jobs. Hopefully you don't need a cover letter for a retail job, but at this point it just doesn't hurt if they do ask for one. But all in all, I don't really know what else to say for that. You just need to use persuasive keywords at this point and to showcase to the employer and to the AI system that I am more than capable of working the job in a expert beyond proficient level. And basically all they want is somebody who sounds easygoing. It's a tight rope, it's a tight line to walk on. Easygoing, hardworking. You're not asking for too much, but you're able to do multiple things at once. And you sound professional, and you might be very articulate. And you might be futuristic too in knowing the newest things, like Figma and all of that stuff. And I've been seeing a little bit depending on where you're going for what jobs they're on. Now they're talking about typing and working with LLM AI chatbots. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done, and I just applied to more jobs. So let's see what's going to happen, because there's so many applicants, and I live in Los Angeles, and a lot of the Uber drivers I've been speaking to a meeting have been recently moving here. So who knows what jobs that they're trying to look for. So yeah, that's just what it is for now. So things are pretty tough right now until I, get myself out the country. But until then, let's just try our best. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this helped. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I really do hope everything will be best for all of us, because I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit weird out here. Peace.